Hey guys, this is Coach Bricks with RX Health and Fitness. I'm here with the other guy, Coach Noah. Noah, good to see you, buddy.
See you,
Great
too.
to see you. Hey, like I said, I wanted to have everybody introduced so you guys know when you guys come in who you're seeing. Okay, so this is all going to be online. You guys can all see it, what you guys will get. But Coach Noah here is awesome. All right, Coach Noah is the main guy here. He's here pretty much all the time. All the time, yeah. Well, Coach James and I float in and out. Coach James is here a little bit more than I am. Coach Joe the same way. We float in and out. We cover where we need to cover. But Coach Noah is the main guy, all right, that you're going to see probably 90% of the time, if not 100%. And I wanted them to get to know you, Coach. You know what I mean? I think it's very, very important that people get to know you. So why don't you give us a little background on what you studied, where you went to school, and what you learned?
All right, so I had my undergrad at Penn State, exercise science, kines, fell in love with training, kind of sports, the human body as a kid. I dealt with a condition that kind of caused a lot of issues for me growing up. 42 surgeries because of it, all over. But so for me, training was the only thing that kind of held me together. So researching, how can I move this way? If I can't do this, can I do this? And it kind of just kept going and going throughout all my youth. I took that bachelor's degree, and then I said, hey, you know what? I want to learn a little more. So I went and got my master's at Pitt in clinical physiology, did extensive work with cardiac rehab, pulmonary rehab, pediatric exercise oncology, so working with using exercise to increase the efficacy of medication for tumors with kids and that type of stuff. And I kind of just kept falling in love more and more with what I was doing. I ended up moving back to the area, met Joe. Joe's phenomenal, you guys know him.
Awesome guy.
And he just kind of fell in love with what I did, how I approached things, my love for everything. We kind of aligned a lot of stuff. And he's like, I kind of want to bring you along, put you on the team, and here we are.
That's awesome. Awesome. So you see his extensive background. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. So you're in great hands when you walk into the door. You know, this isn't a guy just, hey, we just brought him off the street. Hey, here you go.
Yeah,
do
I know
these evaluations.
I look like a kid, but I'm older, I swear.
Well, that's good. You want to look. Everybody wants to look young, right?
Yeah.
You always want to look younger than what we are. So you're going to get to meet Noah, all right, when you first come in. Now, one of the big things that Noah does, and he does phenomenally well, okay, is our assessment, our evaluation. Something much, much different than what most people do. He's not going to a gym and me just giving you a program. And, you might tell me, hey, I have a couple issues here and there. No, this is an extensive evaluation. So I want you to explain what we do with our evaluation, our assessment process.
So the first thing we always do with every patient when they come in, we have a PAR-Q. It's a general kind of health assessment questionnaire. Lets me know about surgical history, health history, what they have going on, goals, what maybe medications. Because honestly, a lot of times people, they don't take their meds, things can go wrong. I've experienced that in a lot of the hospitals. They just don't take their meds, they pass out, they have a heart attack, something goes wrong, because that's important. So after we go through that, we do vitals. We have, again, heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen. Then we have an in-depth body fat scanner that gives us about 42 metrics.
Oh, wow.
So all the way from your visceral fat to how much cellular water weight you have, your metabolic age, all kinds of cool, fascinating stuff that we can kind of build on as we go. Then we go into our VO2 testing. The VO2 max is important for one reason. It tells me how efficient your body is. We're machines. So the higher your VO2 max is, the more efficient you are at using oxygen throughout your body, your heart, everything working together as one unit, and it makes you a better functionally, better as an athlete, better as everything you do in life. From there, we go into just muscular strength, muscular endurance. They're two different things. How much power, how much can you move versus how long can you move. Two completely different things, but both have their places in life. And then we go into flexibility. I measure things such as joint angles, so I go over, okay, how's your internal rotation with the hip? How's your external rotation? Not just general, okay, we can do sit and reach. We can do that stuff, and we do. But I want to see how every joint is moving compared to the general population, compared to what your age is, compared to everything going on. And we're also working on eventually getting EKG testing, graded exercise, so being able to see what your heart's actually doing as you're exercising. Being able to notice, okay, is this chamber working properly? Is something blocked here? Are we working to maximum capacity, or is there something we need to take a further look at? So we're continuing to grow, we're continuing to work on this, and this process will continue to evolve, but it's really in-depth, and again, it provides a way for not just you to kind of get a general overview or like, hey, okay, I need to do this in a program, like a personal trainer. It provides a way for us to kind of look at every aspect of your health and say, okay, how do we move forward here? How do we move forward here? And then you have these expert analysis. You have a physiologist, you have a doctor, you have strength conditioning coaches, you have all this team working together to make sure that you maximize every part of your life in health and wellness.
Yeah, and I think that's key, and I think you said it. This is the baseline when you first come in, first time. And then we reevaluate, to see where you're at, to see what we need to do and where the improvements have been made.
It's all a starting point.
Exactly, and I think that's what the key is that we do, especially you, when you look at these, hey, where are they at? What do we need to work on? With your extensive background and your education and all that kind of stuff and what you've gone through, you can say, hey, James, Coach Bricks, this is what we need to put together. This is what we need to change. Hey, they're 3 weeks in, we need to change this, or Dr. Joe. And I think that's the key, and I said this with Coach James, and I always say with Dr. Joe, is that this is a team effort.
Yeah.
This is where we build, and this is where it's different than the healthcare system of today. The healthcare system is so isolated over here, over here, over here. You've been through it. This guy doesn't talk to this guy, so you have no idea what you're taking. I've had people come up to me and say, I'm on this medication, and I'm also on this medication. I'm like, these medications are canceling themselves out. Well, this doctor gave it to me, that doctor, and you can't do that.
No.
You know what I mean? So we're trying to bring that all into one house, understand it, and then continue to get people to where they need to go.
You have multiple minds tackling the same issue. And the nice part is, too, if one person doesn't know, we can go to the other person and say, okay, how would you approach this?
Yes.
How would you go after this? And even when we're doing the evals, we might notice something that the person never knew that could be a concern that we need to get further evaluation for before we can even put them through exercise, because it could have been dangerous.
Correct. And I think that's key. And I think that's why I really highly suggest everybody come in for a tour, but then also set up that evaluation. I can't tell you how many things get missed.
Yep.
I was in a similar situation now with all the surgeries, but I had surgery on my heart when I was 18 years old. They missed that I had some kind of heart condition. And it's the anniversary of Hank Allers. I don't know if you've ever heard of Hank Allers. Played basketball, okay? Played basketball at Loyola Marymount, okay? In 1990, he fell over, collapsed on the court. Okay, I had a very similar condition to what he had. Now, mine came 3 or 4 years later. But I would have never known that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? But they missed this as I was growing up. Well, thank God, a doctor, I started having issues, and the doctor caught it. One doctor, out of all of them who had missed it, had caught it. So you probably went through similar things, but this is what we're trying to help people understand. Catch these things, and I don't care how old you are, 60, 70 years old, there might be something that all of a sudden started happening that people are missing. We want to make sure that we're catching it, taking you through the proper way of doing it, and that's why Coach Noah's here, Coach James is here, like I said, 90% of the time, so you can ask questions. That's what's cool about this program, is that they can come in, and when they're starting to work out, somebody's here to help them out. Do you know what I mean? Yep. We might not be on top of you, but we're here that you have questions or concerns or something. Exactly, and I think that's where we're different, and that's where we want to be.
Because a lot of medical professionals, I think people get a little anxiety because they're telling them how it is. They're forcing things on them, and a lot of people don't like to have things forced on them.
Yeah, you're right.
We like to be led into things.
Yep. And they like to have a conversation.
Yes.
Hey, and they like to say, hey, here's my input. Okay, well, we think that's not going to be the best thing for you. Exactly. And I think that's the key. And that's where we come into play. You know what I mean? All of us working together, but then also working with you and taking your advice in. We might not say, hey, that's the best thing for you, but we'll give you our best medical background that we can and give you the direction that we believe that will help you get to where you need to go. Anything you want to fill in? Any last words?
No, I think I'm good for now.
All right, awesome. So, guys, check out. I have all the information there. Check out. Get signed up. At least come in for that tour. Meet Noah, Coach James, myself if I'm here, Coach Joe, or any of the ladies that we have that are phenomenal with nutrition, my wife, and then we have a bunch of other people here. But come and meet us, and then get signed up for that assessment. I can't tell you how important it is. I wish something like this was around when I was younger. Maybe it would have helped me out big time. It doesn't matter your age, correct?
Nope.
You could be 10 years old. You could be 90 years old. We want to help as many people.
I just had a lady the other day. She's asking if she can bring her teenage niece with Down syndrome in.
Awesome.
So anyone, doesn't matter the condition, doesn't matter the age.
Exactly.
We're always willing to help, guide, make things fun, improve their life.
Correct, and I think that's the key. He just said it, improve your life. All right, guys, so this is Coach Bricks and my man, Coach Noah. Guys, RX Health and Fitness, guys, reach out, let us help you.